Round one.
All right, my name is Benjamin Gutierrez, and I'm a business student here at Tecnológico de Monterrey in third semester. And today I will be debating arguments on whether or not violent video games should or should not be banned. And I am deeply in favor that spending excessive time playing with these video games can lead to less time socializing with your friends, poor social skills, and losing grades like at school, and a lot of other bad things that could happen when you play a lot of violent video games. And well, we all want the best for our kids.
B.
Okay, so my name is Mariana. I'm in fifth semester of biotechnology, and I'm against of the banishment of video games, of violent video games. So our kids deserve to have fun. Am I right? Although there are strong reasons brought forth by those who want violent games to be banned, here are some reasons why we should not. For example, increased self-esteem, reduction of pain, encourage teamwork, sharpening players, with among others. However, the benefit of video games can also improve the power of concentration, creativity, memory, language, and teamwork. Video games can make it easier to learn educational content and develop cognitive skills.
Round two.
All right, so the statistics dictate that video game addiction is by far the most problematic in people aged 34 and younger, and with the average age of gaming addiction being 24 years of age. And this is concerning because the percentage of people and children that play video games in Western society is around 90% of children, and more than 90% of American kids play video games, and 65% of adults play video games. So this actually means that more kids play video games than adults, and most kids don't have their frontal cortex well developed yet, and so they don't make good decisions, they become violent, and also they become very aggressive and start having thoughts and behaviors that don't match a good lifestyle, and they become desensibilized to violence in real life.
Well, so you're saying that a lot of people play video games, but there are a lot of type of video games, not only violent video games. And also, for example, if you're playing a video game, when you grow up, like, you know what is the violence that you can find in the streets. You know what is the problem that we can find in the streets. So you try to get away from that. You know what would happen if your actions go wrong. Like, if you are playing, for example, I don't want to put this example because it can be a little bit cruel, but for example, if you're playing about a school shooting, well, if you're playing as a school shooter, you now know what it's like to be in the point of view of that person, and if you're the victim, you know what to think about, like, you know how to hide about it.
Round three. Questions from the audience, especially those of you who haven't. Yes.
Yes, for sure not. Do you agree that there are some type of video games, like aggressive video games, that should be banned, or do you think that all video games should be accepted?
I think that all video games should be accepted
Why?
because, I mean, you're talking about violent video games or video games at all?
That someone can create a video game of anything, and there should not be restrictions about video games. Or do you think that there should be restrictions?
Well, I think that all video games should be accepted because there is a lot of range in people of ages. Like, an adult can play and a kid can play. But I think that there should be some restrictions about it.
My shoot person. Yes, Pato.
for that should. What do you have examples of what video games should be banned like right now?
Yeah, because like for example in the United States, it's very easy for someone to get something like a gun, and video games more or less teach you how to use them or what is involved in the process of using a violent weapon as such, and maybe it is inciting and teaching you how to do all these different kinds of like behavior, and also it gets those thoughts in your head. Like for most of it, you probably if you didn't play those video games as a child, you wouldn't even think about the things that could be done. But there are a lot of violent games that involve torture and war, and I think that it is really dangerous to show that kind of content to kids.
Round 4.
Well, for my closing argument, I would like to state that for violent video games, there is an age restriction, such as for alcohol or other substances that can damage your body. And I think that this is because, as I said, the kids, mostly young kids, make bad decisions in their life and don't know what they're getting into. And for alcohol, for example, there are various types of restrictions as to when you can put this in your body or where. And for video games, it's actually it should be actually more or less the same, because the culture that is built around it, some violent video games incite other players, like if they're talking in their headsets with an opponent or something like that, they become more aggressive towards them and insult them, and that is why I think violent video games should be banned.
Well, as a conclusion, I want to give a conclusion because sometimes in debates we think about black or it's white. So let's take a conclusion that is gray. So I think that video games should not be banned. There's a lot of age range in those players. So I think that, yeah, some restrictions are good, and also the help of the parents, because some parents give the access to those video games. But still, I think that video games can help you to have a better concentration, a better teamwork, a better cognitive skills, and yeah.
Thank you very much. Very good job, guys. Okay.